Algerian Olympic boxing champion Imane Khelif is looking to knock down a few more people. The fighter filed a lawsuit against Elon Musk, J.K. Rowling, and others, including Donald Trump, for aggravated cyber harassment. Now, Khelif came under scrutiny during the Olympics after a swarm of accusations were thrown her way, questioning her gender. According to Variety magazine, Khelif's attorney, Nabil Boudi, filed a complaint with the Paris prosecutor's office on Friday, naming both the tech billionaire and famed author. Their names were posted on the prosecution's Anti-Online Hatred Center. The prosecutor's office did confirm to Variety that an investigation has been launched to, quote, conduct an investigation into the counts of cyber harassment due to gender, public insult because of gender, public incitement to discrimination, and public insult because of origin.
At the heart of the complaint are visceral comments that Musk, Rowling, and others made about Khelif, questioning her sex. Khelif, who was born a female and does not identify as intersex or transgender. Most attacks about her were made on social media, particularly X. Boudi says that the hope in an investigation the hope is that the investigation will land in court, in which case the subject will have to stand trial. So it is true that in October of 2023, J.K. Rowling posted on X saying, "I'll happily do 2 years if the alternative is compelled speech and forced denial of the reality and importance of sex." So she has said she's willing to do time for this, for pronouns.
Yeah, which I think would be an absolute travesty of free speech. Look, you cannot like what Rowling or Elon or anyone else said about this boxer, who I understand and we've, explained many times, is not transgender, was born with female sex organs, although there is some controversy because she also possesses or was found in one of the checks by the International Boxing Association to have some male sex characteristics and was not qualified under those rules. The Olympic has different rules and allowed her to compete. So the bottom line being, I think it would be insane to criminalize having that debate at all, or having people be allowed to comment on that. If something was said that was false and was libelous, then you can sue someone for libel under U.S. law. Obviously, that doesn't really apply here. The idea that there's some online cyberbullying harassment office where you can lob complaints that people said something that offended you, that itself offends me. I won't take my complaint to any online resource center, but I think it's a very slippery slope here. Yeah,
it's interesting that the initial claims about Khelif's gender came from the IBA, which is controlled largely by Russian oligarchs, and they claimed to do these tests right after she defeated a well-known Russian boxer, and people believe this to be retaliatory. They've been riddled with corruption at the International Boxing Association. Now they're permanently banned from being involved in the Olympics at all. So it's kind of sad that a news story that came out of that ended up producing this. They haven't released what biochemical tests were done or any evidence that she failed some kind of gender test. And so I think that's really sad that that's the source of this. These are the same people that if someone looks like a man or takes hormones and therefore is transgender, but they were born with female sex organs, that they'll say, you're not a man, you'll never be a man, you're a woman. But when it's Khelif, somehow that doesn't apply. She was a female at birth, but now they're saying she's a man when she's always been a woman. And so I think it just shows the hypocrisy there, and that maybe there's some acknowledgement or learning going on that is uncomfortable for them, that there's more complexities to gender identity than just sex assigned at birth.
Well, there's also, there are a lot of very specific rules in sports and in boxing for who can compete against who under what conditions, right? You have to be in a certain weight class. You have to weigh in and make sure you're still fighting against the people you're sanctioned to fight against. So I think the idea that it would be impossible that this person was not right for this fight is wrong. Now, you could be correct that the Russian one was motivated, and I don't want to bring any harassment or abuse on this woman. She was qualified under the Olympics rules, and she won the fight, and the other fighter said that she didn't mean to make it about gender or anything else and would fight her again. And so it seems to me that the issue should be over and done with. But look, you have to, I believe in the right to be wrong on the internet, to not criminalize speech just because it is wrong or mistaken. And that's what's underway here. I find that very worrisome.
Yeah, I think that there is a different
investigate
culpable
people for
body.
wrong speech?
Yeah. Who was spreading this claim by the IBA that doesn't have any evidence to support it? Are they culpable? Because it seems to me that Elon Musk, J.K. Rowling, well, they have big platforms and they should be responsible with them. That them and others online were the victims of misinformation, right? They believed this story that Khelif has XY chromosomes, which is not a test that was ever done, but something that was reported on. They said things about her testosterone levels and whether or not she was born a woman. All of these things are untrue. All of these things are harmful. But
the testosterone, she had failed a testosterone test according to this other standard that you're arguing might have been incorrect.
They said it was not a testosterone test. They said it was a different biochemical test and never released the results of it, but they did say it wasn't testosterone. And so I have a lot of questions about if a test was actually done.
Yeah, I think we should be allowed to have questions.
Yeah. And without that evidence there, people, weren't reading into it. They weren't searching for the source of this. They read the news story, believed it to be true, and then they posted this. So if they're found guilty of something here, I think that would be a bit of a stretch for the law to go that far and say that they were willfully, defaming her and saying hateful things and discriminating against her because of her gender. I think it would be smart for some of the defendants on this case to be the people who originally reported on this and pushed this idea.
Well, if they were just legitimately a mistake, again, the way to correct these things is the follow-up reporting that is being done by news outlets and being done online, the record being set straight. It can be self-correcting. We don't need some bureaucratic entity to bring cyberbullying charges. It's a very nebulous term anyway, especially for public people. Is there no right to criticize, even in very evocative, provocative, hateful language, public figures and personalities? I think there should be. Some people, sometimes they deserve, what, Donald Trump? Can he say, I'm being cyberbullied because people are being mean to me? We don't want to live in that world. That'd be very silly.
I think there's a world where she lost sponsorships because of this. Algeria is a country that is, very anti-LGBTQ+, very anti-transgender specifically. And so there is a case to be made for this story being pushed, causing her some kind of financial harm. I'm sure they would have to prove in a court of law that the people who spread this message willingly spread it, knowing that it was harmful or false.
Well, that does it for us today on Rising. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow with our Thursday show. In the meantime, be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss any of our content. And for those of you who like to listen while on the go, we're now available anywhere you listen to podcasts. See you tomorrow.
Bye, y'all.